Again, putting the focus really on Group Captain Shukla. This is extremely challenging, but the message that he's put out, Group Captain Shukla sounds confident, he sounds excited, which is amazing because he speaks from, on board the Dragon capsule after 10 minutes after blast off. So you can imagine the nerves, the adrenaline rush, keeping calm. He puts out a message of Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. And we want to just contrast that for you. 1984, 41 years ago, you had a message from Rakesh Sharma, which decades on, people still talk about, still so fresh in our minds when he said, Sare Jahan Se Acha. So listen in to Rakesh Sharma's message and now Group Captain Shukla's message.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
नमस्कार मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, वॉट अ राइड। 41 साल बाद हम वापस अंतरिक्ष में पहुंच गए हैं और कमाल की राइड थी। इस समय हम 7.5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की रफ्तार से पृथ्वी के चारों तरफ घूम रहे हैं और मेरे कंधे पे मेरे साथ मेरा तिरंगा है जो मुझे बता रहा है कि नहीं हूँ, मैं आप सबके साथ हूँ। ये मेरी इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक की जर्नी की शुरुआत नहीं है, ये भारत के ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत है और मैं चाहता हूं कि आप सभी देशवासी इस यात्रा का हिस्सा बने। आपका भी सीना दिल से चौड़ा होना चाहिए, आप भी उतना ही एक्साइटमेंट दिखाइए। आइए हम सब मिलकर भारत के इस ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की जर्नी की शुरुआत करें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
What a beautiful message there from Group Captain Shukla, choosing also to give it in Hindi to send out a message that this is directly his communication to every Indian. But listen in also to Rakesh Sharma. In 1984, he'd gone to space. So for him, after 41 years, he's witnessing someone else script history. And here was his message to Group Captain Shukla.
Wishing you all the very best. To the crew, Godspeed, and spend as much time as possible to look out of the window. Have a fun time, guys. Wishing you all the very best. To the crew, Godspeed, and spend as much time as possible to look out of the window. Have a fun time, guys.
Yeah, so Rakesh Sharma's advice to all of those astronauts, including Group Captain Shukla, is look out the window as much as you can, because I'm sure nothing can beat that view, and they'll want to soak it in, remember it as much as they can when they return back. To be able to even describe it and to be able to witness something like that is truly historic. So perhaps Rakesh Sharma speaks from experience when he says, take as much time as you can looking out of the window. Shibu Tripathi is joining us live on this broadcast. Shibu's been tracking all the updates on this launch. Shibu, it's finally happened. You know, we've been reporting on this for about a month now. There were delays, but finally, textbook launch that we've seen, textbook liftoff. There were a few hiccups initially that made it seem that, look, we could see a 24-hour delay in the launch, but finally the go-ahead being given. Take us through what to expect and give us a timeline really of what happens now in the next few days, Shibu.
Definitely, Akshita, this is what was expected for the last 1 month to happen. The picture-perfect launch. This is why the launch was being delayed repeatedly, so that there is no technical glitch. There is no error when that finally that liftoff happens, and that's exactly what happened today when Subhanshu Shukla launched into space. And his first words were "Tiranga on my shoulder and nation in my heart," which goes to say that this is officially the beginning of India's Gaganyaan mission as well. Going forward, the entire AX crew now have 28 hours of journey in front of them. They are put into orbit. Dragon spacecraft, the Falcon 9. Perfectly place them into the orbit around Earth. They'll be circling the planet and rendezvousing with the International Space Station. Now, the space station is currently flying about 400 kilometers above Earth. So, the Dragon spacecraft piloted by Subhanshu Shukla will have to cover that distance. And that distance is not just vertically, it's not in a straight line. It's vertically and horizontally both. So not only they'll have to align with the spacecraft vertically, but also horizontally. So in the next 28 hours, we'll see that there's going to be a cat and mouse chase between the Dragon spacecraft and the International Space Station. Sometime around 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, that is a Thursday for India, the docking is scheduled to happen. When the Dragon spacecraft and the International Space Station will be aligned together in a perfect straight line, and the final docking, the phasing burns and the docking maneuvers begin. Now, Dragon spacecraft is equipped with mini thruster engines. These engines will now be used, will be put into place to basically fire up and to adjust the course of action as it approaches the International Space Station. In the next 28 hours, this entire flight is going to be autonomous. So no human involvement is there. It's all being done by the computer, by the Dragon spacecraft on its own. However, since Subhanshu Shukla is a group captain, a test pilot in the Indian Air Force, he'll be responsible for supervising the entire docking procedure, the aligning with the International Space Station, and if anything goes wrong, he'll be taking charge, he'll be manually doing the docking procedures. So it's going to be very exciting the next 24 to 28 hours, and we look forward to a picture-perfect docking, just like the liftoff that we had today.
We hope so, fingers crossed, but it looks like it is going to be completely smooth right now. Shibu describing that essential process where you have the Dragon capsule going in this motion, circular, rotating around the Earth till it reaches right up to the International Space Station as a cat and mouse kind of game that they play. But that's the process that's usually followed, which is why it takes 28 hours. It's not directly, from Florida take off and then reach your destination. It's a complicated procedure that is now kicked off, that is underway and extremely challenging for all of the astronauts on board, including Group Captain Shukla as well. But I'll bring in Dr. Ghosh as well once again on this broadcast, as well as Professor Nishant Singh. Dr. Ghosh, one of the questions that's constantly asked is, why did it take 41 years for us to reach this moment? In the next few years, we're going to be seeing significant strides that, now that you've got Group Captain Shukla, you'll have the Gaganyaan mission, which means the number of astronauts in space goes up for us. And then there are so many more ambitious missions like Indian on the moon, which could be by 2040. Why did it take but 41 years for us from a Rakesh Sharma to have our second Indian in space, sir?
Yeah, okay. Before I answer that, may I just let you into a thing which the media might be very interested in, but that's just my wish. That is, I'll answer your question, but that is that, I'm expecting Shitangshu to do spacewalk because he's been trained in that. So a tethered spacewalk is very much on the cards. And I think the media and everybody in India should look forward to that. That's just my guess. But coming to 41 years, it's it's not easy to get high tech from certain countries, and I'm very well aware of how much of a difficulty that we had and what is the process that we had to get through to get technology at each and every step. In fact, just to mention, the cryo engines, which we were supposed to get from, at that time, Soviet Union. They gave us the engines, but because of external pressure from Western countries, which of course later on helped us in other things, but at that time, we didn't get the transfer of technology. And I can go through the sequence of, the series of disappointments, but we had to create the ourselves. And now you have, I think, Agnikul making a semi-cryo engine from a 3D printer. So this is where we have come to. We have gone on to docking, undocking, and a series of advancements. They have not been easy. They have not been easy by any standards. And everything, we have had to do it on our own. So it is the fact that we have got all this technology, and now we can safely say that we are a safe space power to reckon with.
Very true.
Because of how much hard work our space scientists have put in. And
No, 100%. I agree with you that it's been a long, long journey. But I'm glad we're finally here. We're at a point where, our scientists get the backing that they need, which never perhaps was there previously. We're giving the attention to the sector that it deserves. And that's why you're seeing these leaps and strides happening right now.